My homily is on the way, so I'll tell you a story before that. There is an unusual story about a pastor who was wishing the people after the Mass. And one Sunday, he noticed a very young man and told him, "You must join the army of the Lord." And the young man said, "Father, I am already in the army." And the pastor said to him, "No, I mean you must become a soldier for Christ." And so the young man said, "I guess I am already doing that, being in the service." So the pastor said, "But I rarely see you here, except for Christmas and Easter." So the young man said, "Father, that's because I am in the secret service. So I am not visible always." Today, the Lord is asking us to go public. As being Christians, our call is to be a public witness of the Lord. Last week in Beatitudes, Jesus explained what makes his followers blessed. And today, Jesus tells us what makes you a blessing to others. In the portion of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus is inviting us to acquire goodness that we can radiate to others. Using metaphors from his time, Jesus reveals that his followers are called to be the salt of the earth and light of the world. Today we know much more about salt than they did in Jesus' time. With a greater chemical precision, we call it the sodium chloride. Throughout history, salt has served two important functions. One is to preserve food. Before refrigeration, meat and fish had to be frozen or salted to keep it from going bad. Salt's second purpose is to give flavor to food. In the ancient times, salt was also a symbol of purity and considered to have a healing property as well. Metaphorically, we, the followers of Christ, are to be the pure salt that will preserve the world from moral corruption and lend flavor to our Christian and human life. In a busy and hurried world, we should be the composed and serene people. In a despairing world, we should be the joyful ones with hope. But as Jesus pointed out, like the salt, people also can go flat. By contrast, people can also become salty with their sharp remarks. And as an old saying goes, the corruption of the best is the worst that can happen. Although our famous scientist, American scientist, Thomas Edison, gave us light bulbs all shapes and sizes, all of which can be turned on or turned off by a flip of a switch. And yet, light is very essential and necessary for our daily life. And it continues to be many things to many people. A light in the corridor may be a soothing instrument for a frightened child. Our car lights point out the road before us. A flashlight comes to our rescue in a power outage. The image of light also shows the public nature of our role as Christians in this world. Our discipleship cannot be hidden. It cannot be merely our private matter, than the light can be. But spiritually, we do not produce our own light. We are only reflections of Christ's light, just like the moon reflects the light coming from the sun. With the help of Christ's light, we can remove the darkness of this world caused or created by war, violence, and hatred. Historically speaking, after Jesus' death and resurrection, there were about 2 million people in Rome. Among them, there were only about a couple of hundred Christians. But those Christians were very courageous, very faithful, and they were the real salt and light to the people of that time. If we are to be the precious kind of salt to a corrupt world and a vital light to a dark world, God will certainly increase our goodness that we can share with others. Dear friends, every follower of Christ is called to be the salt and light to these modern times. To do so doesn't require a generous checkbook or a bank balance, but a willing spirit. We can all light up the world, the minds and hearts of people through our acts of faith, our acts of charity, our acts of mercy toward others. Finally, we know both salt and light do not exist for themselves, but for others. Salt by itself can be very unhealthy, but it gives flavor and enhances the taste of our food. Similarly, light enables us to see things better. By itself, a bright light can blind us. So the question is, how do we become light and salt to others? It is through our works of mercy, both corporal and spiritual works. Thus, as Christians, we are called by the Lord to exist for others and for their well-being. And that is what Mother Teresa did in her life that brightened the entire world. The famous British star Malcolm Muggeridge, not William, Malcolm Muggeridge, commenting on the life and missionary work of Mother Teresa, once said this. He later became an ardent follower of Mother Teresa and became a Catholic later on in his life. He said, "Indeed, Mother Teresa shows how we can be the light of the world. Mother Teresa didn't set out to spare her light before others. She simply set out to love. And in love, she showed Jesus to others. She became light for the whole world."